Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today we're focusing on something that could be a game changer for your future financial well-being.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're a college student listening,
Yeah.
we're going to be diving into a really concise 5-minute YouTube video script that's aimed at students just like you.
Right.
And we're going to unpack it and see what actionable advice we can all pull out of it.
Absolutely.
This stuff, it could seriously change your financial game.
For sure.
So let's jump right in.
You know what I think is so interesting about this video is that it doesn't just like throw all this financial jargon at you.
Right.
It really focuses on like the why behind financial planning and investing.
Yeah.
And it highlights how having a plan can actually give you more freedom to like live the life that you want.
Totally. And they break down the benefits of financial planning into four main categories.
Yeah.
Achieving your goals, gaining peace of mind, making smarter decisions, and getting a head start.
Yeah.
I think all of those resonate with college students in different ways.
Absolutely. For example, think about the classic college dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Do you go on like an epic spring break trip or do you finally like upgrade your laptop?
Right.
Both are valid choices, obviously, but a financial plan can kind of help you decide which one aligns better with your long-term goals. Do you prioritize experiences over material possessions? Like that's something that a plan can actually help you figure out.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's not about restricting yourself.
Exactly.
It's about making choices that feel good in the moment
Yeah,
and set you up for success later on.
totally.
Speaking of long-term success, we have to talk about compounding.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The video calls it the eighth wonder of the world,
Right.
which might sound a little bit like an exaggeration,
Okay.
but when you really grasp how compounding works, it really is kind of mind-blowing.
Absolutely.
I love the analogy they use in the video, the snowball analogy. It's like, imagine you start investing just $100 a month when you're like 20 years old. Over time, thanks to compounding, those small contributions can grow into like a much larger sum.
Yeah.
It's like, a tiny snowball rolling downhill. It gathers more and more snow as it goes, and it just becomes this like massive force.
For sure, yeah. And they really hammered this point home with that comparison between starting to invest at 20 versus starting at 30.
Yeah.
Imagine the difference between having over $76,000 by the time you're 40 versus just $32,000.
Wow.
Just because you started 10 years earlier, that's a massive advantage.
Okay, so starting early is clearly a key takeaway here.
Huge.
But I'm guessing some students might be thinking, easy for you to say,
Right.
you're not struggling to pay for textbooks and ramen noodles.
Well, that's a valid concern for sure.
Yeah.
But here's where the video's advice gets really interesting.
Okay.
It doesn't expect you to just like suddenly start investing thousands of dollars.
Right.
It really emphasizes starting small and building consistency, even if it's just a few bucks a week.
Yeah, I like that they acknowledge the reality of being a student.
Right.
It makes the whole thing feel much more achievable.
Absolutely.
It's not about being rich already. It's about developing good habits early on.
Exactly. And that leads us perfectly into the practical steps that the video outlines.
Okay.
And they make it sound pretty straightforward, even for like a busy college student.
Really?
Want to hear more about that?
So we're convinced that financial planning and investing are crucial, even while we're in college.
Right.
But where do we even begin?
Wow.
The video lays out these three, super simple steps.
Yeah.
Creating a budget, opening an investment account, and, the big one, staying consistent.
Right.
It sounds pretty doable.
It really is. And you know what's great is that there are so many tools and resources available now
Oh, yeah.
to make this even easier than it used to be.
Right.
Take budgeting, for example.
Okay.
The video suggests like tracking your spending
Uh-huh.
and setting aside some money for savings each month.
Okay.
Sounds simple enough, but like actually doing it can be tough.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right.
Between, classes, extracurriculars,
Yeah.
trying to maintain some semblance of a social life,
Yeah.
who has time to manually track every coffee and slice of pizza?
Right. Like that's where technology comes in.
Okay.
There are tons of budgeting apps out there now that can connect to your bank accounts,
Oh, wow.
automatically categorize your expenses,
Okay.
and even use fancy AI algorithms
Oh.
to analyze your spending habits
Right.
and identify areas where you could cut back without feeling deprived.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
AI for budgeting. That sounds kind of intense.
I know, right?
Does it, judge your spending habits?
Yeah.
Send you notifications saying, you really spent that much on takeout last month?
Haha. I don't think it's quite that judgmental.
Okay.
But It can definitely like highlight patterns you might not even be aware of.
Okay.
Like maybe you're spending way more on subscription services than you realized.
Yeah.
Or you could be getting a better deal on your phone plan. Those little things can really add up over time.
So basically, it takes the hassle out of budgeting
Right.
and helps you make smarter choices without feeling like you're constantly crunching numbers.
Exactly.
Sign me up.
Right. But the key is to find a system that works for you,
Okay.
whether it's an app, a spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
or even just a good old-fashioned notebook.
Okay.
The goal is to gain a clear understanding of where your money is going so you can make informed decisions about how to allocate it.
Okay, so let's say we've got our budget figured out.
Right.
The next step the video mentions is opening an investment account.
Yes.
Specifically, they talk about SIPs, mutual funds, and ETFs.
Correct.
To be honest, those terms always sound a bit intimidating to me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Can you, break them down in a way that even a total beginner would understand?
Absolutely. Let's start with SIP, which stands for Systematic Investment Plan.
Okay.
It's actually a very simple concept. Instead of trying to time the market or invest a large lump sum all at once,
Yeah.
you invest a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, usually monthly.
So it's like setting up a recurring payment,
Yeah.
but instead of going to Netflix, it goes toward your investments.
Exactly. And this plays perfectly into the power of compounding we were talking about earlier.
Right.
By consistently investing a small amount over time,
Yeah.
you're essentially letting your money work for you,
Mm.
earning interest on your interest,
Mm-hmm.
and building wealth gradually.
That makes so much sense. So where do mutual funds and ETFs fit into this?
Right, so the video mentioned those as well.
Yeah.
Think of mutual funds and ETFs as baskets of different stocks or bonds.
Mm-hmm.
They allow you to diversify your investments,
Okay.
even if you don't have a lot of money to start with.
Right.
A mutual fund is managed by professionals who pick the investments within the fund,
Okay.
while an ETF usually tracks a specific index or sector of the market.
Gotcha.
Both are great options for beginners because they offer built-in diversification and are relatively easy to buy and sell.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture.
Good.
So instead of trying to pick individual stocks and become a Wall Street wizard overnight,
Right.
I can just invest in a mutual fund or ETF that aligns with my goals and risk tolerance.
Exactly.
It's like a one-stop shop for building a diversified portfolio.
It is.
This is all starting to sound way less intimidating than I thought.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, one thing that still kind of trips me up is this whole consistency thing.
Okay.
I mean, life happens, right?
Yeah.
What if I have an unexpected expense or just can't afford to invest as much some months? Does that mess everything up?
That's a great question, and I think it's something a lot of people worry about,
Right.
especially students.
Yeah.
The truth is, you don't need to be perfect with your investing.
Okay.
Life is unpredictable, and there will inevitably be months where you have to adjust your contributions
Right.
or even skip a month altogether.
It's not about being a robot and
Yeah.
sticking to a rigid plan no matter what.
Not at all. It's more about building a habit and doing what you can consistently,
Okay.
even if it's just a small amount.
Yeah.
The key is to automate your investments as much as possible,
Gotcha.
so you don't have to think about it every month.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah,
Kind of like those automatic bill payments you never have to worry about.
exactly.
But instead of paying bills, you're building wealth.
Oh, right.
I like the sound of that.
Me too. And, this brings up another point that the video touches on
Yep.
that I think is worth highlighting.
Okay.
It's not just about the financial benefits of investing.
Oh, interesting.
It's also about the psychological impact.
Tell me more about that.
Well, when you invest, even small amounts,
Yeah.
you're making a conscious choice to prioritize your future self. You're essentially saying, I believe in my future, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is.
Right.
That can be incredibly empowering,
Yeah.
especially for young people who are just starting to figure out their place in the world.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Really?
It's almost like a form of self-care, investing in your own future well-being.
Exactly. And that feeling of agency and control over your finances can have a ripple effect on other areas of your life. It can boost your confidence, reduce stress,
Right.
and even motivate you to make healthier choices overall.
This is seriously making me rethink my whole approach to money.
Yeah.
It's not just about numbers and spreadsheets. It's about making choices that align with my values
Yes.
and create a life I'm excited about both now and in the future.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Wow.
And speaking of the future, this leads us perfectly to the video's final message,
Okay.
which I think is a great note to end on.
Okay.
It's all about taking action
Uh-huh.
and making even small changes today that can have a huge impact on your life down the road.
It's interesting, right? We started this deep dive by talking about a 5-minute YouTube video.
That's right. And to college students. But
Yeah.
this conversation has really opened my eyes
Mm.
to how these financial concepts,
Yeah.
they apply to everyone,
Cool.
no matter what stage of life they're in.
I agree. The video might be targeted towards students, but the underlying message,
Yeah.
it's universal.
Yeah.
Taking control of your finances really empowers you to live a more fulfilling life.
Right. It's about aligning your spending and saving habits with your values
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
goals.
Exactly.
It's not just about becoming a millionaire.
Right.
It's about having the freedom
Yes.
to make choices
Yeah,
that align with what truly matters to you.
exactly. Whether that's traveling the world, starting a business,
Right.
or simply having peace of mind,
Yeah,
knowing that you're prepared for whatever life throws your way.
so true. So to wrap things up, let's
Yeah.
bring it back to you, the listener.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
from the benefits of financial planning to the power of compounding.
And the practical steps you can take to get started.
Yeah.
But what does this all mean for you personally?
This deep dive has given you a glimpse into the potential
Yeah.
of financial planning and investing.
Mm,
But now it's time to translate that knowledge into action.
right.
What's one small financial goal you can set for yourself today to harness this power?
Maybe it's finally downloading that budgeting app we talked about.
Yes.
Or committing to setting aside $10 a week for investing.
Right.
Or even just spending 15 minutes researching different investment options.
Totally.
The key is to just take that first step.
Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out right away.
Right.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
And every small step you take
Mm.
gets you closer to your financial goals.
So to all the listeners out there,
Yes.
embrace the power you have to shape your financial future.
Mm-hmm.
Start small, stay consistent,
Yes.
and never underestimate the impact of even the smallest actions taken today. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep learning.